Welcome to Coverage and Clarity with Jacques, the podcast where we break down protection, planning, and peace of mind so you can make confident decisions for the people who matter most.
Hello, and welcome to Coverage and Clarity with Jacques. I'm Jacques Jean-Baptiste, National Field Underwriter and founder of Coverage and Clarity, as well as the Jean-Baptiste Consulting Agency. Now, today I want to have a compassionate, practical conversation about something many of us shy away from. Now, that is facing your fears and making an end-of-life plan. Now, before I begin, here's a fact that may surprise you. Only 22% of American adults have documented their end-of-life wishes. That means most people know what they want, but very few put it down in writing. If you've been putting it off, you're not alone, and this episode is for you. I'll explore why people avoid planning, what matters most to them, what steps they can take, so that starting today, you can protect your family, your assets, and your peace of mind. Now, let's start by acknowledging the reason many of us avoid planning for our final days. Understanding these barriers is one step to overcome them. The first step is denial. Death is emotionally charged and feels like a burden. Some people believe that talking about it will somehow make it happen sooner, but avoiding the conversation does not protect us or the people that we love. The second reason is procrastination. We all procrastinate on unpleasant tasks such as taxes, paperwork, and even medical appointments. If you're young and healthy, it's easy to believe there's plenty of time. The problem is, life is unpredictable, so later on may become never ever. Now, every day that we're alive is a gift. Tomorrow's not promised. We must make every moment of every day of our lives. Now, the third reason is the lack of awareness. Many people simply do not know the benefits of planning or the option that's available to them. Individuals do not realize how much emotional and financial stress their loved ones might face without guidance or proper preparation. This is why I provide my clients with both a family data guide and a last will and testament. Now, in previous episodes, I've gone over both of these items. The family data guide is what I've put together over the last 30 years of me being in the financial institution of doing insurance with my clients. Now, in it, it lists everything that a person would need. It lists their personal information. It lists what bank accounts they have. It lists what life insurance policies they have, both on and off the job, as well as their permanent and their temporary policies. It lists how they like to be remembered, what funeral homes they want to go to, what the services they want to have, whether they want to have a cremation, earth burial, mausoleum burial, if they want to be shipped to another state or another country, all that's clearly listed on here. What I tell my clients is after it's all filled out, you'll have it signed, dated, and notarized, and it becomes a legal document. Now, the other part that goes with that is the last will and testament. Now, the last will and testament, as you know, is very detailed, but as I've explained, it goes over who their children would be with if they have minor children, who they're going to leave property to, what percentage goes to what person in their lives. Now, remember, the spouse is usually the primary person, but after the spouse, you can list specifically any children, grandchildren, or other individuals that you want. So these are all clearly listed out in your last will and testament. When you get it notarized, dated, of course, and then once you have it filed with the courts, now it becomes your protection. It says exactly what you want to have happen for you. So these are all reasons to have these always put into place, in addition to everything else, such as your life insurance and your estate planning and all the other stuff that we all plan for as we become adults. Now, another reason why a lot of people are afraid of this is because of cultural or religious factors. And some cultures believe that the family or the community has to manage the funeral arrangements. And that traditions can say that people do not prepare for their own arrangements, but have other people do that. Now, this may have been the case decades ago, or even in other countries, even today. But as we know, no one should have to do a crowd funding for your final expense. For the price of a daily coffee, you could have a funeral planned for yourself. You'll have the money there, and your beneficiaries take care of everything for you. Now, another reason people go through this is because of emotional difficulty. Writing down your wishes, naming a guardian, or thinking about funeral can be overwhelming and very painful for people. Now, think about it does not remove the issue, it just compounds it. That at some point you have to face it head on. So the longer you wait, the more is going to be in other people's hands. And once in other people's hands, you have no control of what they're going to do. At least with the family information guide, your will in place, and other wishes that you brought forward, all your plans could be taken care of upon your passing to make it that much easier for the family during that very difficult time. Now, if any of this resonates with you, I want you to know that your feelings are very valid. Avoidance is normal, but it's also something that could be worked on step by step. Now, let's talk about why it matters to face these fears and plan ahead. Number one, you want to protect your family. How do you do this? Well, you document your wishes, such as your healthcare preferences, your funeral choices, and legal instructions. By doing all these things, you're removing the guesswork. Your family won't be left behind making painful decisions under stress. They'll be able to grieve and celebrate your life rather than scramble and try to interpret your wishes. Now, reason number two, you want to protect your assets. Dying without a valid will and testament can leave your loved ones vulnerable to probate, delays, and potentially legal significant tax consequences. So these are all stuff that you want to avoid. With probate, it could be tied up for years. I've had clients in the past who did not have wills in place. The probate lasted multiple years. And as you know, the longer it lasts, the more fees goes to the attorneys. So that's less of money for the estate of the person who did not plan for this. The delays could be delayed by a long time because remember, they're in no rush to get these items resolved because the longer it's there, the more that they get paid. But the more that they get paid, that's less money that you're leaving for your family. And then with the tax consequences, after all this has happened, your family still has to come up with the money to pay your estate taxes. So let's avoid that totally by getting this all done up front. So your estate plan will provide you both coverage and clarity and help avoid unnecessary expenses during a time that's already difficult for your family. Now, what you also want to do is choose your heirs. When you plan ahead, you decide who inherits what. Now, without a plan in place, a probate judge may divide your estate in ways that you did not wish them to be divided. It may go to people you may not want to go to. The amount going to them may not be as much as you want it to go to them, and other people are making these decisions on your behalf. You want to have everything clearly written out, which is why I always say have your will and testament in place and update it every couple of years. By doing so, you know exactly what's going to happen upon your passing. You also want to protect your minor children. If you have young children, naming a legal guardian is one of the most important decisions you can make. A clear designation removes doubt and helps ensure that your child will be cared for by someone you trust, not someone who they don't know, not a foster care system, not a relative you did not want them going to. You state specifically who the minor child will go to in the event that they pass while they're still a minor. Now, also deciding on care. Your end of life plan should document how you want, whether it be aggressive treatment if it comes down to being in the hospital, palliative care, hospice care, and whom you want to speak to in the event that you cannot voice for yourself. So that's basically going to be your executor or your power of attorney. Now, by doing so, they will determine what you want have happened because you would have clearly listed how you want everything to go on there so that there are no guessworks at that time. This guidance is invaluable to both the medical teams and your family. Now, planning is an act of love. It's practical, compassion, and empowering. It doesn't make death less likely. It makes the path easier for those who want to leave behind. Now, if you find the advice I've given so far helpful and like to inquire more about coverage, call the studio here at 631-594-8118. Once again, 631-594-8118. Now, let's go to some practical steps in getting started. Here, you can take care of all the stuff and break them down into different actions. Step one is to gather information. Learn about the documents that matter: your wills, your advance directives, medical power of attorney, durable power of attorney, trusts, and options for prepaid funeral arrangements. Now, don't feel pressured to get everything perfectly immediately. This is about gathering the facts. In time, you get everything taken care by putting your ducks in a row so that you know exactly what's what. As time goes on, you'll have everything taken care of so that when the time comes, you know that everything will be as you chose to. Now, step two is to write down what you want. Set aside a quiet hour to think of the best case scenario. What kind of medical care do you want? Who would you trust on behalf of your will? Who do you want to leave your children to if they're minor children? What are your preferences for funeral or memorial service? Write these down in plain language so loved ones can understand your values. Once this is all done, transfer it over to your last will and testament, as well as any other instructions that you leave for your loved ones. Now, tell your friends and family uh, all the things that you want regarding your health care, surrogates, guardianships, all the stuff that you want to leave to other people's responsibility after you're gone. Share these wishes with them beforehand. Don't make it a surprise upon your passing that all of a sudden you want such and such person to be your guardianship of your child. You want to clearly state this early on in life so they could plan for it as well as you could plan for it. This helps prevent confusion down the road and gives your loved ones time to prepare emotionally. Talk to an expert. Once your ideas are clear, consult with a professional who can convert your wishes into legal documents. Now, this might include an estate planning attorney, a financial planner, a licensed insurance agent such as myself. You don't always need to have a lawyer to create the valid will, but the legal advice from a lawyer can reduce mistakes and increase the peace of mind that you will leave behind. Consider affordable funeral options. Prepaid direct cremation is very simple. It's cost-effective choice. Some people may not want that though. So whatever you do, you want to have it planned beforehand. Cover your basic disposition and protect your family from rising funeral costs. You can still choose how you want to be memorialized, whether it's a small service, a memorial garden, scattering of ashes, whatever that may be. By you planning in advance, your family will know what your wishes are and they could fulfill them for you. Now, step six is to finalize the plan. After you document, prepare, sign everything, have it witnessed, notarize, and then store a safe copy where people will know where they are. Give copies to people you've named to in your last will and testament, and have the original copies so that everyone could go back as proof of you having everything and making sure that everything is up to date. So always keep track of where the originals are kept and have the people responsible for your estate afterwards have copies so that they have that for themselves. Now, it seems like this may be a lot, but remember, every step moves you closer to clarity and security. And that's why we're here for, is to make sure everything is taken care of. Now, let's discuss how life insurance and estate planning works together to protect your legacy. Life insurance provides immediate liquidity to cover funeral costs, outstanding debts, your mortgage payments, and any ongoing support for your family. Final expense policies are specifically designed to cover funeral and burial or cremation costs so that those expenses do not fall on your loved ones. Now, an estate plan distributes assets according to your wishes and can reduce the burden of probate. Combine this with tools to ensure that your family has the financial resources and legal clarity they need. If affordability is a concern, know what the options are and what price points. Now, if you partner with a trusted agent, you can help make coverage that fits your budget while providing meaningful protection for both you and your family. Also, services like your will and trust can simplify creating estate documents and some partnerships offer discounts for those services to make the legal side more accessible to you. Now, think of insurance as an immediate safety net and your estate plan as a long-term roadmap for your legacy. Now, one thing that I've come to realize over the years are common misconceptions that a lot of people have. Now, let me address some of these with you. The first one, people think that if they plan for their death, it'll make them die sooner. No, that is not practical. It doesn't affect your lifespan. What it does do is give clarity and reduce the stress for your loved ones by early planning. Now, some people think, do they need a will to a lawyer to write their will? Not always. Some states recognize handwritten wills, and there are other online tools that produce valid documents. However, complex estates, blended families, or special circumstances often benefit from the legal advice to avoid any mistakes and unintended consequences. So what you want to do is, if it's more detailed, you definitely want to have a lawyer there. If it's simplified, you could have a lot of the documents taken care of for you automatically online. What matters is, upon a passing, you get this filed with the courts. If it's not filed with the courts, it does not exist. That's what's most important, making sure it's filed with the courts, whether it goes to your attorney or you do it on your own. Now, another question people ask is, how often should they update their plan? You should review your documents whenever you have a major life change, a marriage, a divorce, a birth of a child, significant financial changes, or naming a new agent in your life, such as taking care of estates, if you have a business. So these are all different items that you want to do to make sure that you review what goes on. As an agent myself, what I like to do with my clients is review every single year with people, because changes may not occur every single year by as you would assume so, but every couple of years there's definitely changes that need to be done. Things need to be added, maybe they need to be reduced. Either way, review this every 3 to 5 years to make sure you're as current as possible on all your wishes. Now, what happens if your family disagrees with the wishes? So having things in writing and discussing your choices ahead of time greatly reduces conflict. Now, naming a trusted surrogate and explaining their reasons for this will calm disagreements, but in some cases, mediation or legal assistance may be necessary. This is why a will comes into play, to make sure that your wishes are taken care of, and a lawyer makes sure that it does happen. Now, another question people ask me, can they change their mind after they make a plan? Absolutely. You could update your will, revoke directives, you could change your beneficiaries. Just keep all your records and all versions to make sure that the most current documents are accessible. Now, these questions are normal. If you have specific concerns, reach out to professionals such as myself who will help you create a plan that fits the values and your circumstances. Now, to wrap up, here are the main takeaways of what I discussed today. Facing fear of death is a courageable act of love. Planning protects your family, preserves your wishes, and provides a peace of mind. You don't have to do it all at once. Take the small steps that will lead to big results. If you like help in exploring life insurance or fine expense policies that could protect your family, call or text me. I work with over 40 of the top carriers in the nation to find solutions that fit your needs and your budget. Now, before I close, I want to give you a quote that has meant a lot to me. The brave man is not he who does not feel afraid, but he who conquers that fear. Now, this is Coverage and Clarity with Jacques, where protection meets understanding and understanding leads to confidence. If you've found value in this message tonight, please share this with someone that you care about. Thank you for taking time to listen to me and for choosing to take actions on something that matters deeply. If you have any questions, want a one-on-one conversation about coverage or planning, please reach out. I'm here to help. Remember, I have coverage all across the nation. To contact me, call the studio at 631-594-8118. Once again, 631 594-8118. Until next time.